Regular City Council meeting of March 2nd. Would you please all rise and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Marcella, can we get roll call, please?
Councilmember Condi?
Here.
Councilmember Garcia?
Here.
Councilmember Solario? Here. Councilmember Weiss?
Here.
Councilmember White?
Present.
Vice Mayor Nielsen?
Here.
Mayor Pineda?
Here. Thank you. Ron, next item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. First, we get to do introductions, but Sandra's not here, so someone wrote something very nice for me to read real quick. So, although she is unfortunately not here this evening, we are pleased to announce that Sandra Salas has rejoined the city manager's office as a management analyst. We are very happy. I am very happy. She has returned to the team, and welcome her back to the city. Next up is the court. I believe the Honorable Judge Jennings, our municipal judge, and our court administrator, Abril, are going to introduce one of their new employees.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Abril and I are honored to be here tonight to introduce to you our newest court employee. It's Selena Marquez. She is a Court Clerk 1 and started with us on the 17th of February. We were fortunate. We weren't thinking she was going to start until today's date, or today or tomorrow, but she was able to start a couple weeks early working with HR. So we're very fortunate that she's here, and she has a few statements that she wants to present to you.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just wanted to share a little bit about me. My name is Selena Marquez. I'm originally from the area, Goodyear, Avondale. Graduated from Alafria High School. I did move to Texas briefly in 2021 for about 4 or 5 years. There, I was able to work as an eligibility specialist, helping families get benefits that they needed, finding local services, community resources for them. And I was also working for fun at the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop, as I am a Cowboys fan. But I'm very happy to be here, working for a team, contributing to the city that values growth, service, and making a positive impact in the community that helped shape me. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here, Selena. Okay, really quickly. I mean, I know we have a lot to go over and maybe we're short on time, but really quickly, being that it's been a short amount of time, what have you thought so far?
I love it. I'm happy to be here. Everybody's very helpful. You never see anybody without a smile. I love it. I'm very happy so far.
Oh, well, thank you. Judge Abril? Judge and Abril, thank you so much for creating that environment, and thank you for joining the city. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor and Council, up next, we have the Fire and Medical Department. I believe Chief Rooney will make the introduction. And he's probably the one person more happy than me about a recent hire, but I'll leave that to the Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. It's my privilege to introduce you to our new Senior Management Analyst. Her name is Kristen Ziprich. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Her name is Kristen Ziprick. It's spelled Ziprich, but it's pronounced Ziprick. So don't get that wrong. All right, Kristen brings nearly 2 decades of progressively responsible experience in municipal government, human resources, finance, and operations. She most recently served as the Economic Development Coordinator for the City of Goodyear. Yay, we got her. Where she managed the department's systems and performance pipeline reports and supported strategic business development initiatives. Prior to that, she served as a management assistant and HR analyst for the City of Goodyear, leading process improvement initiatives, overseeing departmental budgets, implementing performance management systems, and supporting labor negotiations and citywide programs. Kristen also brings private sector leadership experience as an operations manager and HR manager, where she oversaw finance, human resources, IT, administrative operations, engineering firms. She holds a bachelor's of applied science in public agency management from Northern Arizona University, yay, and is a certified public manager, professional in human resources, and a PSHRA certified professional, and I have no idea what that is. Outside of work, Kristen enjoys listening to a wide range of music, country line dancing, camping, traveling, and spending time with her husband, adult children, and friends. Originally from the Midwest, she especially appreciates Arizona sunshine and the opportunity to enjoy outdoors year-round. She looks forward to expanding her travels and approaches life with the same intentional. She writes a great bio. Intentionality and dedication she brings to her work. I also want to, we found out she just started like a week or two ago, and last week she had her birthday, so I'd like to wish her a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Also, Mayor, it took a long time to fill this position, but we did not settle. We got the best person out there, and we're really excited.
Well, Kristen, welcome aboard. We've heard your bio. By the way, Chief, the illusion is gone now, so we all now know that you didn't write that.
There should have been no illusion. I told her job is to make me look like a genius, and she's got her work cut out for her.
Okay. Well, welcome to the team. But Kristen, so I heard a little bit about being outdoors and camping. So where do you like to do the camping within the state?
So normally we like to go up north, so anywhere on the rim, Payson, Prescott. We just went to a camping trip in Alamo, so that's the cooler months. I avoid the snow at all costs.
Okay. Seems like the rim area is pretty popular with a lot of our employees. But, well, welcome to the team. Thank you so much. And as Chief said, we didn't settle. So, and with the bio that we've just heard, we really appreciate your experience and what you're going to bring to the city. So thanks for joining the team.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
Mayor and Council, up next we have our Neighborhood and Family Services Department Director, or I believe, actually it's Edith, our Assistant Director, here to present a few of her new employees.
So good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council members. I am here this evening to provide a video of 6 of our newest employees. They work all hours throughout the week, and so it's really hard to get them here. But they ended up doing a pretty good job of introducing themselves. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and play that for you.
My name is Rosalia Munoz, and I am the Neighborhood Family Services Specialist here at Arizona Complete Health Avondale Resource Center. And my role is to provide excellent and individualized customer service to anyone who's walking through our doors. I am also here to support all of the great programming here at the Avondale Resource Center. I'm really excited to be in this position and to be employed with the City of Avondale. I align very deeply with the core values of the city of being kind, helpful, and professional. What I have seen here is innovation, I've seen growth, and a really deep commitment to community engagement. And that is something that I'm really excited and proud to be a part of.
Hello, my name is Michel Padilla. I'm a Senior Service Coordinator for the City of Avondale. Part of my role is to help coordinate services for the seniors. Some of my favorite activities are helping with or participating in chair exercise, line dancing, or volleyball. My favorite part for working in this department is that as an Avondale resident, I can help make a difference in our community.
Hello, I'm Alejandra Navarro, one of the Senior Services Coordinator. As part of my job, I get to exploit my creativity by creating crafts, presentations, services, and entertainment for our seniors to make them happy and keep them active. I feel very blessed to be part of the City of Avondale, where making lives better is not just a slogan, but our mission to our community.
Well, my name is Angelique, and I work here at the Avondale Resource Center. I am the customer service representative. My job is to welcome everybody in. I love my job because I get to help people find resources that benefit them and their lives.
Hi, my name is Adela. I'm a senior services coordinator. So I create programs that help seniors stay active and engaged. In addition to that, I create partnerships with the community to help with support services for our older adults. I enjoy working with the older adults just because they keep us active and they keep us very entertained.
My name is Adrian Gomez Flores. I am a seniors program assistant working at the Senior Services here at City in Avondale. What I like doing every day, which is communicating with the seniors, building a relationship with the seniors, and just like getting to know one another, helping them in any way I can, and then just providing that excellent service to our community as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody presenting, and all the new employees for joining us. Ron, next item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Up next, we have a presentation by Jill, your procurement manager, proclaiming, I believe this month, Procurement Month.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. My name is Jill Ling, the city's procurement manager, and this is the team that supports procurement function for all 20 city departments. And I would like to let them introduce themselves to you.
I'm Zakia Green, buyer.
Oh, come on up. Don't be shy.
Hessa Prater, contracts administrator.
I'm Laura Robinson, procurement officer.
Graciela Torresilla, senior buyer.
Brian Garcia, senior buyer.
It is our privilege to present this year's Procurement Month proclamation. Since 1984, the National Institute of Governmental Purchasing has designated March as Procurement Month to honor those who safeguard taxpayer resources while advancing excellence in public service. Over the past year, our procurement team has modernized our processes, from implementing enhanced certificate of insurance tracking to streamlining surplus property disposal procedures. We have navigated complex projects from park improvements to infrastructure upgrades while ensuring compliance with Arizona statute and maintaining our commitment to fiscal responsibility. Our work depends on strong partnership, and I want to thank our city attorneys, the clerk's office, finance and budget, risk management, and all the departments we work with daily. Your partnership enables us to serve our community effectively. As we celebrate Procurement Month, we recognize that our work is about stewardship, integrity, and building a better community through thoughtful use of public resources. Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I will pass it back to you for the reading of the proclamation.
Thank you so much. And Councilmember Solorio will be reading the proclamation.
So I have the proclamation for Procurement Month. Whereas the National Institute of Governmental Purchasing, NIGP, has proclaimed March as a procurement month to recognize the essential role procurement professionals play in government operations. And whereas the Procurement Division serves the City of Avondale through strategic procurement, contract management, market research, stakeholder collaboration using technology, competition, and best practices. And whereas public procurement professionals across the nation collectively influence economic conditions through strategic purchasing actions while safeguarding public funds and ensuring fiscal responsibility. And whereas the Procurement Division demonstrates commitment to excellence through adherence to public procurement values of accountability, ethics, impartiality, professionalism, service, and transparency. And now, therefore, on behalf of the Avondale City Council, the City of Avondale, Arizona hereby proclaims March 2026 as Procurement Month in Avondale and urges all community members to recognize and support the valuable contributions made by procurement professionals in promoting efficiency, transparency, and fiscal responsibility in public spending.
Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor and Council and Jill and team, we will want pictures. If you guys could hang out till after the last set of presentations.
Ron, next item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I get to introduce one of my very own there, Kate Gregory, your Assistant City Manager for the Proclamation on Women's History Month.
Look at those great pictures. There's some great people up there. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the Council. Women's History Month is an annual observance that highlights the contributions of women to history. And this year's theme is Leading the Change, Women Shaping a Sustainable Future. As we recognize Women's History Month, I want to take a moment to honor some of the extraordinary women who lead and serve throughout the city of Avondale. We're very proud to have a strong group of women leading in our organization, including many of you who serve on the City Council. Thank you. Your dedication, resilience, and unwavering commitment to public service makes our organization stronger and our community better. Your achievements are not only a testament to your individual talents, but are also to the power of opportunity, encouragement, and belief in what is possible. Each of us stands on the shoulders of generations before us, of women who came before us, and their legacy continues in each one of us who takes on new roles, embraces challenge, and leads with purpose in our fields. Thank you for fostering these opportunities and for your continued support of women in government. And thank you, Mayor. I'm going to say the same thing. There are folks here in the audience, a lot of women in our organization, and I would ask them to please stand for a moment.
My.
And because you're standing, you will also be coming down for a picture after I turn it back to you, Mayor, and a proclamation is read by Councilmember Garcia.
Councilmember Garcia.
Women rule the world. That's not on here, but Women History Month. Whereas women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways, and have served as early leaders in our forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas women have courageously served our country in the military, demonstrated valor, dedication, and service. And whereas women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights to suffrage and equal opportunity, but also the abolishment movement, the emancipation movement, and the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and the pivotal moments, especially the peace movements, which have all contributed to creating a more just and equitable society for all. And whereas the theme of Women History Month 2026, Leading the Change, Women Shaping a Sustainable Future, celebrates the contributions of women who are leading sustainability efforts across environmental, economic, educational, and social justice movements. And whereas it is vital to continue to learn about and celebrate these outstanding contributions, even as the role of women in history have often been overlooked in literature, teaching, and studying of American history. Now, therefore, I, not Mike Pineda, Jeanette Garcia, by virtue of the authority vested in me as City of Avondale, Arizona, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Women History Month and urge all residents to celebrate the contribution women have made to the United States and recognize special achievements women have made throughout history.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Katie. We'd be happy to come down and take a picture Well, all of those who would like to come on up, and I would look forward to that opportunity. Okay, Ron, next item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Up next is our police chief, Chief Espinoza, and I believe he has some other command staff that are going to come up. Introduce, we'd like to recognize some good Samaritans from our community.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Thank you for taking the time to recognize this group of individuals who went above and beyond what is expected of them, and they played an important role in the safe return of 3-year-old Kaylani Rogers. To tell you more about this case and to tell you the specifics about the actions of these individuals, I'm going to turn it over to Assistant Chief Bates.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. Like Chief said, thank you again for taking the time to recognize the community and Avondale police employees involved in this incident. A summary of the incident. On the morning of Saturday, February 21st, 3-year-old Kaylani Rogers was reported missing from her home near 118th Avenue and Thomas Road. What began as a missing persons report quickly escalated into multi-agency search and issuance of a statewide Amber Alert. Through diligent investigation, which included neighborhood canvassing for video surveillance, extensive interviews, vehicle searches, and following up on numerous community tips, detectives were able to identify the suspect in this case. Surveillance footage confirmed the suspect was seen with Kaylani in the city of Maricopa earlier in that day. The investigation took a critical turn on Sunday morning at a Quick Trip gas station near 27th Avenue and Thomas Road in Phoenix, Arizona. A QT security guard, Skylar Emmons, recognized Kaylani and the suspect from the Amber Alert. The guard immediately alerted 8 employees from Camelback Moving, Inc., who are Kobe Brown, Christopher Dixon, Gerardo Galacia, Rob Hernandez, Kevin Kimes, Michael McCallum, Kevin Pace, and Ralph Vermeer, who were on site at the time. Recognizing the pair and the urgency of the situation, these 8 individuals took immediate and decisive action. They used their moving truck to physically block the vehicle Kaylani was in, preventing any chance of departure while they contacted the Phoenix Police Department. Because of this quick thinking and brave coordination, Kaylani was found safe, in good health, and reunited with her family later that morning. The suspect was taken into custody without incident and was booked on felony charges. The successful outcome was a direct result of a vigilant community and the seamless partnership between the public, the media, and law enforcement. So at this time, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, I'd like to invite you down to recognize these Good Samaritans.
Thank you. Council will join me. We can pass out these pieces of information here.
All right, first up, we'd like to recognize QT Guardian Security, Skylar Emmons. Next, we'd like to recognize Camelback Moving, Inc., Gerardo Galacia. Kevin Place with Camelback Moving, Inc. And Ralph Volmer with Camelback Moving, Inc. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, I'd also like to recognize those who were not able to attend tonight from Camelback Moving, which were Kobe Brown, Christopher Dixon, Rob Hernandez, Kevin Kimes, and Michael McCallum. Thank you. So, Mayor and Vice Mayor and Council, at this time, we would like to also call up the following Avondale police employees. But before we do that, I would like to take a moment to say a few words reference this incident. The first responding officers and supervisors immediately recognized this was not your normal missing person call. They took action to begin getting on all resources that we would need that day. This started with a call out to our Criminal Investigations Bureau and the notification of the chain of command. Once the details of this incident were gathered, resources from throughout the valley began to mobilize immediately. This investigation was actively manned for well over 24 hours. Even after the successful reunification of Kalani with her family, it did not end. As a matter of fact, that is when all the behind-the-scenes work is done with the investigation. Each one of our employees played a valuable role in this investigation, from traffic control, interviewing those who were involved, working with other agencies to follow up on leads, writing reports, to even bringing out the command van to have a place for everyone to work. If it had not been for the rapid response of everyone involved, this could have had a different outcome. This time I would like to call up the following Avondale police employees to be recognized. Could I have Daniel Benavides? Ronald Bergeron. Ryan Dodge. Nick Gonzalez. Dustin Greenwood. Jose Hernandez. Matthew Hintz. Linda Carroll. Andrew Martin. Aaron Metzger. William Penny. Danielle Hodea. Destiny Rosas. And Toby Story. Did I miss anybody that's here? Okay. I would also like to recognize those who were not able to attend. There was Derek Albano, Joshua Schaefer, David Garcia, Jennifer Berger, Francisco Cardenas, Jenny Chavez. Did I call Jenny? She's here. Jenny. Get up. Lucas Connors, Brandy Datcher, Joseph Del Pozo, J.C. Dunshee, Albert Escobedo, Jeffrey Felposh, John Horton, Efrain Jaime, Dedrick Jones, Jordan Mamoy, Megan Neighbors, Alfonso Romanetti, Jarrett Redfern, Manuel Rios, Devontae Scott, Teresa Scott, Robert Tullis, Burton Van Renz, Jeff Vaughn, Joshua Wheatley, and Brennan Zier. So thank you to those people that weren't able to attend.
Chiefs. Oh, you want to? Oh, sorry.
I'm going to try to. Perfect. If I can have you collectively squeeze in. Squeeze.
was funny.
And Mr. Mayor and Council, while we're waiting a second, we did ask the staff to stick around just in case you wanted to say anything to them. And of course, our fine heroes over there are still around for council to address if they would like.
We do have one council member we're waiting for, so should we wait until she returns?
I'll let you make that decision.
Okay. Yeah, we'll wait. Sorry, I know you guys are probably ready to get out of here. There we go. See? The right decision. Well, first and foremost, Chief, but all of those who are involved, I mean, this was a story that right away, I know that we were all provided updates along the way. You know, much of the state was also invested in learning about what was happening with this young girl and the story surrounded by it. And so for that reason, I think there are many questions, but more importantly, maybe comments that council would want to make that maybe the community would like to learn more about in regards to this case. And I know that it's sensitive because the case is ongoing. So we have to be mindful of that as well. But this is just a testament, and I don't mean to go first, but since I'm talking, I'll go first. It's just a testament again to community. You folks, as you mentioned, stepped in. I'm not sure what moved you to do so, if it was just kind of let's act, let's do this now. But regardless, I mean, it's what happens when the community gets involved, when you get involved. Who knows what the outcome could have been, but nonetheless, you guys decided to act. And for that, we thank you. The community thanks you. The family thanks you. But most importantly, it's nice to know, and it's a pleasure to know that not only did the community step in, but more importantly, it's reinforced by city staff and by our public safety who went above and beyond the duty to help a young girl in need. And so I'll step out of the way and turn it over to council. Council, if you have any comments or questions, we'll start on this side and work our way this way.
Thank you.
Councilmember Condi?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to just say thank you to everyone, but also too for the regular citizens that are now considered heroes. So thank you for stepping up and doing what you did. Thanks to you and everyone, there's a little girl that's home safe today. Again, thank you so much.
Councilmember Garcia?
It is the worst fear for a mother to hear that she does not have her child at home. And what you guys did is just so heroic, but also what the community should be doing is stepping up when these situations happen. So thank you guys for what you guys did. You guys are heroes. And I really do believe that in my heart. And I pray that the Lord just protects you guys moving forward and that he just gives you the fruit that you have given to a family and they have their child home today. And to our officers, you guys always do remarkable. Look at this big team to find a little girl. Like you guys stepped up as usual, but she's home because it took all of us, everyone in that, that was in that picture, you guys, to bring her home. So thank you guys so much for everything you do. We love you guys and we really do pray over you guys every day and hope that you guys get home safe and that we just really acknowledge that you guys are doing the hard things, seeing the hard things. And I know it's not easy to go home to your wives or your husbands or your partners at the end of the day with such heavy stuff, but there's a little girl home today and we're just grateful for that. So thank you all so much.
Councilmember White? Okay, we'll just come back this way.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you so much, Memo, Jonathan and Bates. I appreciate everything you guys do. When I look at the officers, I just wanted to let you know, I got text messages from other council members throughout the state just commending the cohesion of the Avondale PD. I think you guys move as one organization. It's like each of you are individual people, but it's like the hands, the fingers, the wrists, the ankles, the toes. I don't know if there's that much coordination throughout Arizona in one agency. I don't know if there's that much coordination throughout this country in one agency. So Avondale PD, you are doing an amazing job. Even standing outside this weekend at Trace Reels, people kept coming up thanking me, and I said, I really didn't do anything. They're like, but no, you guys support them. And so please know, you guys came to a vulnerable dad at a moment where he couldn't find his baby. And I just know, I'm daddy's girl. And, even though he rests in peace right now, that is a very awful feeling to turn around and not find your kid and know that your kid is not where they need to be at that moment. So you all have gone above and beyond. You make us proud each and every day, but you're not doing it for the recognition. This is business as usual for you every day. You go above and beyond each and every day, and I'm so proud to be a resident of Avondale first, to be somebody who calls Avondale home, but to have your representation. And please know, there is not a place or space in this country anybody will ever be able to say anything negatively about you, because I know the work you do and I know the people who you are. You represent us well, and you brought that girl home. Thank you.
Councilmember Weiss.
Well, this is the outcome that we all pray for, right? Anytime there's an Amber Alert, and this is just an attestament to your quick thinking and your courage for stepping up, and then to our wonderful staff who always go above and beyond. So thank you for bringing this girl home, and we're really proud of our department, and we're really happy and pleased with the outcome, and we're really proud of you guys for all that you did. Thank you.
Councilmember Solorio.
Thank you, guys. There's no other words. It's all been set up here and then some. Thank you to each and every one of you guys on the police force. A huge thank you to the the reverse phone calls that comes in, because that's really valuable. I know I was at a city function when we were at the resource center. When that came in, people's phones started ringing, city employees. And that's one way to capture attention. That's one of the biggest things we talked about last year on a national level, having that type of program to let not only employees but let citizens know that there's a child that's missing, or there might be an elderly person missing. And those types of things speak true to Avondale, that we care about everyone. Thank you to the moving company, Camelback Moving Company. Thank you to Chad, because, a lot of that culture, you guys are not just everyday citizens now. You guys are heroes, but that everyday culture is taught to you at work. See something, say something. And you guys really took that above and beyond. So thank you to everyone involved. I couldn't be more prouder to live here as a resident, like Councilmember White said first, but even to see it on a national level. I know our Congresswoman shared how proud she was that everyone got her home.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Nielsen.
I think a lot has been said. I would just like to appreciate or give my appreciation to the coordination efforts, the number of names that you read off for the police, the number of other people that were involved. You don't get that coordination very much anymore these days. It's like, I want to stay back and don't do anything. And I don't think any of you woke up that morning, and said, today I'm going to be a hero. You woke up that morning saying, I'm going to do my job the way that I know that it needs to be done. But when it came time for you to come together to save that life, you put whatever work you needed to do by its side and went out and coordinated your efforts to do whatever you needed to do. So thank you for doing that. And the only other thing I can say is, even though it is Women's History Month, this is history for you. You need to put that down in a written form or some vocal form to pass on to your kids and your kids' kids, so that they know that they might have an opportunity someday to do just what you did, because Dad did it, I can do it. So thank you all very much for all that you've done.
So once again, as you heard, thank you to everybody in this room who has had a part in this story here. And you heard all of the statements that have been expressed. So once again, on behalf of us, thank you so much for everything you've done. I know you don't do it to be called a hero, but this is a result of just stepping in and doing what's right. So thanks again. Can we give one more round of applause? Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. Item number 3 is unscheduled public appearances. We do have one blue card. Are there any other blue cards or anything else, Marcella, aside from this one?
Thank you, Mayor. I have not received any additional requests to speak.
Okay, thank you. So at this moment, can I please have Rhonda Bell come and speak?
Good evening, Mayor Pineda, Vice Mayor, City Manager, Council, staff. Avondale residents, and friends. I am Rhonda Bell, Chair of the Avondale Municipal Art Committee, second term, and an Avondale Ambassador, second term. I am here today to promote our Senior Art Scholarship Contest. Perhaps you've seen the flyers. And if you have not, please contact me or any member of the Parks and Rec or Municipal Art Committee, and we can make certain that you do get a flyer. I stand before you today for a call to action, a call for artwork. Our contest or the actual event is scheduled for April 8th, so please keep that date in mind, save that date. But this is our submission windows where we call the artists, and we don't have any submissions. So I have one ask, one call to action, one finger in the air for everyone. I need you to at least mention the contest, spread the word. We need help getting the word out. Our target audience, high school seniors. So any senior graduating from an Avondale high school, they are eligible to participate. And any Avondale resident, if they're just a resident of Avondale, they can participate. Or if they go to an Avondale high school, they can participate. With that, just want you guys to encourage you to, first of all, get the word out, and second of all, invite you. I will be back one more time before our event, but again, we do need a call for art, call for the artwork, call for artists to participate. Again, the date is Wednesday, April 8th for the actual event, and then the submission deadline is Friday, March 12th, next Friday properly. We want to make this a great, successful event, so I'm calling on Avondale. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Item number 4 is the consent agenda. Are there any council members who wish to have an item removed for separate consideration? Seeing none, can I please get a motion? Got a motion from Councilmember Solorio, a second from Councilmember White. Can we please vote? Item passes unanimously. Ron, next item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Now I get to hear from our chief again. Chief Espinoza will give a police department update.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. Today we will be giving you an update of your police department. During our presentation, we're going to cover 4 different subjects. First, we're going to talk about our 2025 accomplishments. We're going to give you a hiring update for 2025. We're also going to provide you crime statistics for 2025. Additionally, we're going to talk about our priorities and initiatives for 2026. We'll start with our accomplishments, and I'll talk about the first accomplishments. They are big ticket items for us, and they would not be a reality if it wasn't for your support, so we want to say thank you. We'll start with our communications center. On September 2nd, 2025, we opened the expansion of our comm center, which added much needed extra space and updated technology. Our next accomplishment, and again, this is thanks to your support, is our K-9 Training Center, which opened on July 23rd of 2025, and it brought us state-of-the-art training areas and kennels to house our K-9 partners. The next group of accomplishments is a wellness program, our wellness performance program, which is a consultation. This is offered to all of our employees, foreign and professional staff. And if they're willing to participate, they get a consultation with a coach. They also get a brain mapping with the purpose of improving attention, memory, emotional control, stress management, sleep, and overall mental clarity. The next item is we formalized our chaplain program. Historically, we had 1 to 2 chaplains. However, they were not very active. We would ask them to do things here and there. We formalized that program in 2025. And the purpose of doing that is to continue to serve our residents. Historically, when we had to do a death notification of something unexpected, a death notification again, unexpected. For example, an accident or a homicide, we would have our officers go do that notification. Although we provide training to our officers, we're not subject matter experts. So now, by adding additional chaplains to our program, when we have to do a death notification, we'll ask one of our chaplains, who are part of our volunteer program, to come along and make that notification. If I can quickly give you an example of what I'm talking about. Here about 5-6 months ago, we had a young airman that was involved in a fatal accident. We immediately contacted one of our chaplains, and he was able to respond with one of our officers to meet the young widow and make that death notification. Our officer and that chaplain, they stayed on site with the widow until we were able to put her in contact with other resources by Luke Air Force Base and in contact with her family. The next accomplishment is advanced leadership training. This was offered to all of our supervisors in addition to our field training officers. The training consisted of developing leadership skills, managing teams, strategic thinking, and overall leadership. The next accomplishment is the transition of our portable radios replacement. Our old radios were outdated technology. With the new radios, which we again implemented in 2025, we have a couple of features that are unique to these new radios. One of those features is called the Smart Connect. So with our old radios, there's times where you would be in a remote area of our city and you had poor signal. So if that officer tried to get out on their portable radio, there's times that you had issues, again, trying to communicate with the Communications Bureau. With these new radios, the radios, when they recognize that you're in a poor signal area, they immediately start looking for a radio tower, and they'll connect to that radio tower. And we have not had any issues with connecting with our comm center. In fact, with these new radios, we're able to connect throughout the entire state and not have any issues. The other great thing about these new radios is what they call smart programming. Historically, once a year, we would reprogram our radios. That required our officers to bring in their radios. Our staff would work on the radios, reprogram them, and then give them back to our officers. That process could take anywhere between 3 and 4 weeks. With these new radios, we can do that just by hitting a switch. So time saving is one of the benefits of this new program. And finally, the one thing that we really love about these radios is that they have GPS. This is an officer safety benefit to our team. The next accomplishment is our Real-Time Crime Center partnership with the City of Glendale. We have, through the Real Crime Center, our staff at the center, not only Avondale staff, but also Glendale staff, we have access to our city cameras. In other words, if we have a crime in progress and we need to immediately jump on those cameras to try to figure out what's going on and to provide real-time crime data to those responding to those calls for service, we can do so through the, again, partnership with the Glendale Real-Time Crime Center. If I can give you a quick just example of how we utilize the Real-Time Crime Center. About 6 months ago, we had a homicide that happened in the area of 99th Avenue in McDowell, where a suspect who had zero connection to our city, they were just passing through, and that individual committed a homicide. All we had at the time as we were responding to the call for service was a description. By the time that our officers arrived on scene, that suspect was long gone. However, our staff and Glendale staff back at the Real-Time Crime Center were able to utilize the cameras and locate a subject that matched the description. As the subject kept on walking away from our city, our staff at the Real-Time Crime Center followed the subject, directed officers to make contact with the individual. They detained him, and eventually they developed probable cause and ended up making an arrest. And again, this individual was just passing through Avondale. We believe that if it was not for the Real-Time Crime Center, it would have been very difficult for us to make an arrest. The next two items you're very aware of, And we look at these items as a recruitment and retention tool. The first one is the take-home vehicle program for our sworn officers. Although you guys voted in 2024 for this program, we implemented that program in 2025. And the program has been a success. Our staff loves the program. And in addition to that, we utilize that program to attract new talent. The second one is the mid-year compensation adjustment. Again, your team voted for this program in 2025. However, we implemented this program early this calendar year. And again, thank you for the two programs. They both help us with recruitment and retention. Additional accomplishments for 2025 are revolving new positions. One of those positions is our victim advocate supervisor. Historically, we had 1 to 2 victim advocates. However, they were typically managed by one of our sergeants, one of our police sergeants. That is not their expertise. So we started looking into the possibility of bringing a subject matter expert, a victim advocate supervisor. We were able to accomplish that. We brought Brandy, who we took from the city of Phoenix, and she's been phenomenal. The idea behind this program is to be able to provide additional victim services to our residents here in the city of Avondale. If I can, again, give you a quick example. With the kidnapping that we just spoke about, we immediately called Brandy, and she was able to respond to the scene, and she was with the family not only on Saturday, but also on Sunday. So, great program. The other new position is a second dedicated forensic interviewer for the Family Advocacy Center. Historically, we had just one forensic interviewer. That forensic interviewer was doing just under 400 interviews a year. The average for a forensic interviewer is anywhere between 200 and 250 interviews a year. So after looking at the stats, we decided to ask for a second interviewer, and now that individual is hired and ready to go and has been assisting with interviews. The other thing that we did this year is we took a sworn officer's position and we turned it into a full-time recruiter position. The idea behind that is that we set a goal for the Avondale Police Department. We would like to stay under, have our vacancies under 5%, and we're going to utilize this full-time recruiter to go out, contact people, whether it's in-state or out-state, and showcase our agency. And the idea is to bring more applicants to the pool of individuals that we test on a year-to-year basis. So, and we'll talk more about this individual here in a second. The other accomplishment is adding, we added 2 patrol lieutenants. Historically, we had 4 patrol lieutenants. We added the 2, and here's our reality. Our reality is that we are a very, very young department. We have very young officers being led by very young sergeants. The idea behind adding more lieutenants is so that we can provide mentoring opportunities and guidance to our young staff. Here's our 2025 hiring update. On the sworn side, we hired a total of 21 individuals. 3 of them retired, and a total of 11 separated from the organization. Those 11 individuals that left the organization on the sworn side, we lost a majority during the academy and during our field training officer program. A lot of individuals, we bring them on board. We tried to explain to them the difficulties of this position and some of the challenges that we face as police officers. And but at the end of the day, once they start the academy, they're like, hey, this is not for me, and they move on. Others make it through the academy, they graduate from the academy, they start their field training officer program, and reality hits, and some of them move on. On the professional staff side, we hired a total of 14 individuals. We had 1 retirement, and 15 people left the organization. In the case of the professional staff, the majority of those 15 people that left the organization, the majority were communications specialists, or dispatchers. This job is also difficult. They have a difficult schedule. a lot of people come on board and they go through the training and they decide that that's not for them and they move on. The good news is with the majority of the people that in communications that go through the training, they come off probation and they're good for the first year or two. For the most part, they're here to stay. We have a solid group of senior dispatchers. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Assistant Chief Bates to talk about our crime stats for 2025.
Thank you, Chief. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. So I've got the privilege of introducing our crime stats for 2025, and I'll kind of walk through what this is. NIBRS is a national incident-based reporting system, and what that is everybody that reports in the same manner. So our Group A, which we have listed here, consists of 3 categories: crimes against persons, crimes against property, and crimes against society. So we'll start off with the crimes against persons. In 2025, we ended our year being 11.25% higher compared to 2024. Persons crimes consist of any crime related to a person on person. The stats are driven, this number to be elevated is our assaults, our aggravated assaults. So when we look at those numbers, they combined equal over 2,000 incidents. And as you can see, we have 2,300 for the year. So the majority of those particular calls are assaults and aggravated assaults. They are a high number. The majority of them are domestic violence related. So this particular category is just a little bit more challenging to address from a police department standpoint. However, the Avondale Police Department is committed to providing education and resources to victims and victims' children. And that's, I think, bringing that extra victims' rights supervisor is going to help us in accomplishing some of that stuff. So, next category I'd like to talk to you about is the property crimes, so crimes against property. This category consists of burglaries, shopliftings, thefts, frauds, criminal damage, any crime that is related to a property offense. We ended the year in 2025 at down 3.2% compared to 2024. The primary calls that we had within this category were our criminal damage related calls and our shopliftings and our thefts. This particular category is an area that the Avondale Police Department has one of its goals, which you'll see later in the slide, but this is one that we have some area that we are very proactive in, and we'll talk about that here in a few. Our next category is our crimes against society. This category consists of crimes such as drugs, drug paraphernalia, obscene material, prostitution, weapons violations, animal cruelty, to name a few. So for the year, we ended out at a negative 8.4% compared to 2024. There are a high number, this area has a high number within this category of drug and weapon related offenses. So that primarily is what created this category. So our officers will continue to remain proactive when it comes to these offenses. For example, one area that we have continuous issues with are our river bottom area. So our officers are down there consistently. Since we started a river bottom detail in 2024, we've made over 500 arrests, which range from trespassing to weapons violations and drugs and drug paraphernalia. That all falls within this particular category. So when you look at our total overall, that we were just up over 1% compared to 2024. With the growth of our city and the amount of businesses and residents that we have coming into Avondale, we're committed to ensuring our officers remain proactive during that downtime by either patrolling their assigned beats or addressing specific concerns that are brought forward by the community. We'll be speaking about some of those different strategies on how we plan on reducing some of these crimes and the crimes against property later in the next few slides.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, at this time we would like to take a quick break to give you an opportunity to ask questions regarding the crime statistics before we move on to the next slide.
Mayor Nielsen? I don't know, quick comment or just observation. I got the calculator out here, okay? So if you take some of those numbers, 2394, 2998, the first one, that's 6.5 incidents a day. The 2994 divided by 365 is 8.2 per day. And the society is 2.3. You guys keep busy. I don't know if those are repeats or if they are things. I'm just looking at them, on a daily basis, and the 6239, again, divided by 365 comes up approximately 17 incidents a day.
Correct. And so the numbers might be skewed in the fact that some of these incidents or the one particular call may be a tick mark or for multiple categories. For example, if there's a robbery and a person is hurt in that process, you have a person's crime and you have a property-related crime. So
just that you and the staff have got to be keeping yourself busy just to keep up with 17 of those on a daily basis, kind of. Thank you.
Just really quickly before we move on, in regards to the crimes against person, with the increase, you referenced domestic violence as maybe one of the leading reasons as to why this number is so high. And then the first thing you think about is in regards to the others is, being proactive helps to bring some of those down. In this case, it's often out of our hands. But then, Assistant Chief Bates, you also mentioned and referenced education. What does that education look like? Because from a proactive standpoint, it's like, you would think the information would be like, let's treat each other with respect and all those other things. But what does that true education look like?
Absolutely. Great question, sir. So when we look at some of the data that's provided and statistics, typically, 1 in 4 children who experience either domestic violence or see that within their household, when they grow up, they tend to either get involved in those types of relationships or they become an aggressor, on the other end of it. So one of the things that we're going to be exploring is getting more information out to our school resource officers and exploring that educational route there. The other thing that we're doing is through our victims' rights advocates is we're ensuring that we're providing good resources and education to our victims as well as the victims' children to try and help them get out of a situation like that, explaining all their different options, whether it be orders of protections or things of that nature. So.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If there's no other questions, feel free to move on to the next. Oh, Councilmember White.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you so much, Chiefs. I think concerned as well about the crimes against persons because that increase has gone up tremendously. It feels like from 2023, 533 more people got hurt in Avondale last year. And just to kind of have that perspective in terms of, a 2-year shift, I do look forward to hearing those recommendations, but I regret that any of those folks got hurt criminally here in Avondale. I think that, we want to drive that number down to 0. And I think that starts here, how we behave and how we encourage people to live in order. But I know that you said multiple crimes are often happening at the same time. When you are managing crimes against persons, are you also noticing that there's crimes against society, i.e. drugs or picking up paraphernalia or additional weapons concerns? I mean, what are those aggravating circumstances that you see are high bar?
With our crimes against persons, the first thing is like from 2024 to present, we've had obviously an increase in population. Don't quote me, but I think it's roughly like 1.8% with more residents, businesses. We often do find that there are other crimes associated when we do respond to a crime against a person. There's something else there, whether it be a weapons violation, whether it be some type of drugs or drug paraphernalia. There's often some underlying issue. But the majority of them we found to be domestic violence related.
Thank you. Councilmember Garcia.
Well, I want to thank you guys for just thinking about what you guys can do to educate people. I know I've expressed it before, but I'm a victim of domestic violence, and to see the statistics is very sad. But something you said is people who live in those houses tend to also end up being abusers, and that was what happened to me. He lived in a house where his mom and they were abused, and he ended up being the same as his father, unfortunately. But to hear that you're going to go into the schools and do that education with the teens early on is really, I don't want to say exciting, but it's great that that's the approach you're taking, because I think that's where it starts, is to educate them young, knowing what to look for, to have children be able to defend their moms, defend each other. They don't have, we don't want that, but they end up being, kids save the lives of their moms sometimes, and letting them know. So thank you guys so much for taking that route with that, because I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see this down. Nobody wants to see these kind of crimes happen, and we don't want to, we want to support those that do go through them, and to have programs afterwards that they have those resources for sure. So thank you guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we can move on. Thank you.
Thank you. The next portion of our presentation is in reference to our priorities and initiatives. I'll start with the first one, is an assessment of an AI-assisted report writing software. As you're aware, every employee of the PD that is out in the field, they are required to wear a body-worn camera. Those cameras capture not only audio, but also video. And with this software, as the individuals, our officers are speaking, whether it's a victim, a suspect, or an investigative lead, that audio is transformed into a document. The officer then takes that document, reviews it, and makes sure that it's put in a format or formatted as a police report. We started the program today. This is, again, an assessment. We are looking at see what those results yield. What I can tell you is that this is new technology. There's only a handful of police departments that have implemented this type of technology or are in the process of looking at it. And in talking to my peers throughout the state that, again, implemented this type of technology, they have seen a lot of success. They estimate that officers spend about 30% less time writing reports. So, again, we look forward to the results of this assessment. The next two topics, you're going to hear us talk about them here during the budget process in a couple of weeks. The first one is a drone as a first responder, a DFR. And for us is an officer safety type of technology. What a DFR does is that, unlike our traditional drones, where somebody has to deploy that drone, you have to be trained as a pilot, you have to have an observer, you have to get that drone out of the trunk of your car and then deploy it. With the DFRs, they are staged on top of a rooftop, and they're linked to our CAD system, our calls for service. When a priority one call for service, which is an emergency for us, when that call comes out, it automatically notifies the drone that this is a priority one call for service. The drone goes straight to the address where the incident is happening, and an employee back at the PD, as the drone arrives on scene and starts transmitting images to that operator back at the PD, that operator back at the PD communicates via radio to the responding officers what they're seeing. An example of what I'm talking about is perhaps we often get dispatched to calls for service involving a large fight. And we want to be able to deploy that drone. That way, when officers arrived, they know what they're getting themselves into. If it's a larger fight, there's weapons involved, those officers now will know that what they're getting themselves into. The other side of the coin is that sometimes we get dispatched to a large fight, and we're thinking 100 people are fighting, and we have multiple units responding from all over the city. Now with the drone arriving ahead of us, that person that is monitoring the video can communicate with our officers, letting them know that it's two people fighting. You can de-escalate. Let's take those units back to go back to their beats. So again, you're going to hear us talk about it here in a couple of weeks as part of our budget process. The other item that you're going to hear us talk about here in the budget during the budget process is we're asking to expand the flock camera system. These are our license plate readers. We currently have 15, and we're asking for an additional 58. We use these license plate readers as an investigative tool, and that's the only reason we use them for. If I can give you an example of what I'm talking about, we several months ago, we had, well, let me go back. In the city of Litchfield Park, they have a total of 38 license plate readers. As you know, we patrol Litchfield Park. We had a burglary of a high-end home in Litchfield Park. All we had to go with, it was just an image of a vehicle. We called detectives out because, again, the amount of items that were removed from the home was quite a bit. Our detectives were able to obtain footage from the license plate readers and connected that vehicle. The detectives subsequently arrested the subject, connected that subject to other burglaries of high-end homes, not only in Litchfield Park, but also in Paradise Valley and also in Scottsdale. The other priority that we're looking at for 2026 is our reaccreditation through the Arizona Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. We were accredited as a law enforcement agency in 2022, and we're up for renewal, and that will take place in September of this year. We are confident that we're going to be able to get reaccredited again. These are some of our goals. The first goal is, which we already started, is to establish a traffic safety committee. This is in partnership with our friends at the engineering department. Kim Moon and I lead the committee, and the objective of the committee is to identify strategies to improve the flow of traffic and reduce traffic accidents in the city of Avondale. I'm not going to talk too much about this because on April 20th, Kim and I are going to be giving you an overview of the traffic committee. In addition to that, one of our goals is to train 4 additional officers for the traffic unit, and we'll get into those details here on April 20th. Along the same lines, we're adding a total of 18 laser speed measuring devices and 15 radar speeding measuring devices, and I can tell you the difference on April 20th if you desire. The next goal is to implement a building clearing training area. We received the supplies to make this a reality through a grant. And historically, when our officers trained to do building searching, which is one of the tasks that we do on a regular basis, whether it's a burglary alarm, a residential burglary, a business burglary, our officers, when they first arrive on scene, they have to clear an area. So to train for that, to clear the area, along with a partner, multiple partners, what we traditionally did is we would use a city building. We would go to the schools. We would ask a home builder to use their home under construction if we could utilize that building to train our staff. We no longer will have to do this once we establish this building clearing building because what we're going to acquire is movable walls. So you can do different layouts, and this will be utilized not only by our patrol officers, but also by our tactical team. Additionally, one of our goals is to maintain vacancy rates below 5%, and how we intend to reach this goal is by utilizing our full-time recruiter. The idea right now, we're at 7.3%, our vacancy rate is 7.3%, and we intend to bring it lower by having our recruiter bring qualified applicants, not only for the sworn side, but also for the professional staff. We also would like to increase our participation in our physical fitness program by 5% annually. Our physical fitness program is an incentive for our officers and sergeants, and the idea is to ensure that our staff is physically fit. This is a very physically demanding type of job, and thanks to the support of city management, now we have an incentive. So officers are able to test every 6 months, and if they successfully complete a physical fitness test, they get a $250 stipend. Right now, about 1/3 of our sworn officers take advantage of that stipend, and we intend to increase that percentage by encouraging our staff and educating them on the importance of staying physically fit. The next goal is to increase the number of crisis intervention team trained officers by a 5% annually. What this entails is through the CIT program, officers are trained to better communicate, interact with residents with mental disabilities. And because through attrition, we're a very young department. We have officers that got promoted to detectives, promoted to sergeants. Right now, we're at about 35% of our patrol officers are trained. Our goal is to increase that by 5%. However, that is a very low percentage that we're aiming for, because it is very difficult to get into these classes. However, one of the things that we are trying to do is to host a class. It's difficult to bring all the different instructors together to certify these officers. We're hoping that we can make that a reality, even if we have to pay to bring our trainers. But we're hoping to beat that percentage by a lot if we're able to host that class. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Assistant Chief Bates to wrap up the presentation.
Thank you, Chief. So I get to talk about reducing our property crime by 2.5%, and some of the strategies that we're looking at in accomplishing this. So some of the things I talked about. So recently, we just had 9 officers complete their field training. This is huge. We are able to accomplish with these officers is starting to restaff some of our specialty positions that address property-related crimes, such as our Community Action Team and our Criminal Investigations Bureau. Having those extra staffing out there not only puts more patrol cars out there, but it allows us to take people and start filling up some of these vacancies that we have in these specialty areas. Another strategy we have is holding our staff accountable to the expectations of remaining proactive during the downtimes that we spoke about earlier. So patrol cars driving through a neighborhood goes a long way to the residents, and it potentially deters crimes that they may not even know about. The amount of times that officers spend either on a call for service, report writing, doing some type of admin duty, versus the amount of time that they're available and have the opportunity to be proactive and embrace the community-based policing is what we're looking for. So we're constantly looking at that percentage and looking at where we're at. And then the other item that we're looking at utilizing, that the Chief talked about, is utilizing technologies such as AI. I think that's going to be huge. Like Chief said, we just started the assessment phase of that, so we have a select few officers and detectives that are utilizing that, and we've already gotten some positive feedback on how long it takes to complete reports now compared to what it did in the past. The next item I'd like to talk to you about is ensuring the safe traffic flow by reducing accidents by 3%. And Chief kind of stole my thunder on a lot of these things, but we just added the 4 officers to our traffic bureau. That's huge. These ladies and gentlemen they have not been to traffic school yet, to motor school, but they're planning to go by the end of March and going into April. But for now, they've hit the ground running. They're in patrol vehicles. They're out there doing enforcement details in areas that we're having issues with. So they're out there and they're visible. Even my wife made a comment that she was scared to drive in our neighborhood now because she's seeing them all the time. So I'm like, yeah. And then, like Chief spoke about, we're adding the 18 new lasers. We're going to talk about this on the 20th of April. But this is going to give 18 more ways, patrol officers, to identify speeding and speeding concerns and for them to be able to address those, as well as 15 moving radars, which are stationed in the vehicles themselves. So as we're driving, we can tell what speed somebody is going. We are a member of the West Valley Speed Task Force, and what that is comprised of all the West Valleys to include DPS and MCSO. So once a month, we choose a city, and we pour all those resources and traffic officers into that city. We identify a specific problem, whether it be a high accident area, a lot of speeding complaints, and we do enforcement. So being a part of that West Valley Speed Task Force will bring those resources to Avondale as well. Another strategy is, like Chief mentioned, is the traffic committee. It's comprised of numerous departments within the city, headed by PD and traffic engineering. The purpose of this committee is to identify areas of concern, future projects, to address the flow of traffic throughout the city, using things like education, social media, infrastructure, enforcement, timing of traffic lights, just to name a few. And that's how we plan on maintaining that reduction in accidents by 3%. At this time, I'll give it back to Chief.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, this concludes our presentation, and at this time, we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have of us.
Okay. Councilmember Solorio.
Thank you both for your presentation. Thank you, Ron. Ron knows that I was most excited about the PD update myself. I have a few questions for you, Chief. I will start off with, for the Canine Training Centers, are there plans to expand training partnerships or certifications?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, ma'am.
For the Canine Centers, are there plans to do partnerships or training certifications there with other departments, or should I say other cities?
Yes, for the certifications, yes. We're in fact hosting the yearly certification this Wednesday, and we're going to bring, I think it's 25 K9 units to do their yearly certification. As far as sharing the training center, at this time, we're not ready to do so.
Okay. My second question for you, and this goes for Ron and all our city, with the strategic plan in place. I was very appreciative to hear about your more focused and streamlined chaplain service, because I know in our strategic plan, I will quote from here, we want Avondale to be a city where all people feel safe, supported, and connected to resources that promote and enhance their well-being. The city prioritizes public safety, natural resources, healthcare, and wellness while promoting mental, physical, and emotional health. With the chaplain program being utilized by officers and staff, do these folks also help the families after an incident if needed?
Absolutely. And one of our chaplains is here, Larry White. There he is. And yes, they are volunteers and they're willing to help out. They have connections with other resources, and they're there for the families.
Wonderful.
During and after.
And then I saw in the part where it says, what does the mandatory leadership training currently include, and how are we using it to prepare supervisors and command staff?
Ma'am, the leadership course includes developing leadership skills, managing teams, and strategic thinking. And this was mandatory for not only for our existing supervisors, but also for younger officers that have expressed that one day they would like to become supervisors or field training officers. So that's does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, can I add to that, or maybe have the chief explained? I happened to stop by at one of the trainings. It's been a while now, and the chief police of Scottsdale was there, and he could not say enough about the culture from the interactions from the training that they were putting on and hosting with us for this episode. But do you want to talk about our partnership with the Scottsdale program or what they were doing there?
Absolutely. So, one of the challenges, I grew up here with this organization. I've been with the organization for almost 29 years. And my concern is that, this is all I know. So we force ourselves out of the organization. We force ourselves to interact with other entities as far as we can. We have a special connection with our friends at Scottsdale through the FBI Academy. And we were able to connect. And the idea behind bringing them on board to train our staff is to give our staff a different perspective, not just our perspective. And we learn from them, and I've been told that they learn from us.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
And then my other question is, I know we did the mid-year compensation. Where are we at with recruitment? I know last when you guys were here, you were talking about the sergeants and that classification for the pay. But where are we at with the LTs and the hiring?
So right now we have 3 vacancies for the in the lieutenant position. However, the reason we still have them as vacancies is because we wanted to give our sergeants an opportunity to try the position before they decide whether they wanted to test or not. So it's been a successful plan. Right now we have 3 individuals that are acting lieutenants, and they're going to be switching over here in the very near future, April. And another 3 sergeants will have the opportunity to be acting lieutenants. The idea behind it was that, hey, we want you to try the position, see if this is something that you're going to enjoy, if it's going to work out for him or her.
So prior to that, were you getting applications for that already, or is this something that came after? Did you have it open originally just for lieutenants to do that, or did you come up with this as a recruitment tool after the fact?
This was just for internal candidates. We put an email out asking if anyone was interested in putting in for the temporary assignment, and 6 individuals requested to be part of that pool.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Solario, we haven't advertised yet. This was pre-advertising for the lieutenant position.
Okay, because my secondary question was going to be for you, Ron. In October, we talked briefly about what other cities are doing to retain LTs. He's saying we're having a program where we would have these folks essentially kind of step into that role for a while to see if that would be a good fit for them. If it is not a good fit, do we have a backup for that? Is that something you're willing to explore down the line? And I say this, Ron, because I know you and I have had candid conversations about the importance of getting the right people in those roles and looking at ways outside that other cities may be using to retain LTs and doing that.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, I'll actually let Chief answer that. We've been strategizing.
Yes, ma'am. We want to make sure that those positions get filled. So the idea is we're going to put it out internally and externally, and hopefully we have a big pool of candidates that will be interested in the position. For us, it would be ideal if it was a homegrown individual that promoted to that position. But again, we don't want to force somebody to put in for the position if this is something that they're not interested in doing.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Solera, I had to ask a question. When was the last time we hired an external lieutenant that worked out?
We haven't. Probably.
Oh, yes, we have.
We have. Okay.
I think he's now called Assistant City Manager. Dale was one of our last lateral lieutenants. Just for the record, I was.
I know, but I'm always going to be a proponent for wanting to hire within. You know.
Mr. Mayor, that is our goal. I think one of the neat things about this training opportunity that the chief and his team came up with was to give people a taste of what it's like to be in the position. Going from sergeant is going from a supervisor to a manager. It's quite a big shift in responsibilities and attention to different sets of priorities. So I think it's going to be exciting. We'll know more at the end of the second rotation. When will the second rotation end, Chief?
I believe it's in June, right? July? In July.
July? Okay. While I have it and for public record, could we possibly look at other options too in the future that I've shared with you, Ron?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And then lastly, I saw your priorities. Ron knows this because I tell him all the time after I come back from national conferences. I had the great, I was very fortunate to sit down with Garrett Langley himself, who is a founder, CEO of Flock Camera. Couldn't be such a more useful tool than that to hear, because you always hear the misconception of what is it doing, facial recognition and whatnot, but it is not. It is a tool to specifically help you guys solve crimes faster in real time. We even had a business meeting. I know Councilmember White was at that business meeting where there were several people opposed to it. But when we're looking at officer safety, and Ron knows this all the time because he tells me it's very expensive, but I want you guys to have DFR. I had the opportunity to see DFR and how it works, as well as Councilmember White. I think Liz was there too. And it was such an incredible piece to have that I literally text Ron there. And I was like, I want this. And he says, ma'am, that's millions of dollars. And he said no at first. But then I heard that you had some type of meeting and he got to see it. And then he told me that he was willing, he was open to it. I hugged him. I said, thank you, Ron, because he was a very stern no. It was right away. When I sent him that message, he goes, those things cost money, ma'am. I only want the best for you guys. I know that a lot of people are against the camera and the invasion and whatnot, but if it helps you solve crime, like the way we saw that video with the DFR being deployed to help in a situation where a person committed a crime, they murdered somebody, it was immediately on them. They were able to figure it out within 45 minutes and the car was being tracked. It was really great to see that. The AI assessment report, we also heard about that at a conference because they say so much time is taken up with, you guys writing reports and whatnot, and also accuracy as well. So I was super happy to see that. I know Ron, when he mentioned it, I was like, this is my time. I'm sorry for all the questions, but I wanted to get it out there, and I appreciate Ron and the staff and you guys for putting this together.
Thank you, Mayor.
If I can clarify, we'll prepare. The chief did say we would talk about it at the budget meeting, but it comes with some trade-offs. So for the flock cameras to get up to the number we need, the chief came up with a plan using RICO funds to purchase them and pay for the annual cost for the next couple of years, and then hopefully we'll be able to absorb it into our ongoing budget. And for the FDR, is that what they're called? The things in the sky. Sure. Those drone things. When we saw the presentation, they've made a commitment, and staff mentioned that it is the ability to reduce call time. In other words, reduce FTE without reducing FTE. And so while we can't, you'll see in the budget coming up, we are do not have excess capacity. We've made a commitment that if we hold one of those vacancies, then he can get 2 cameras. I believe it's 2 cameras with those vacancies. There's two drones with those that vacancies. We also need a partnership. We're going to do an experiment with Amazon. So there's some other details that add significant cost, but we believe we have a plan to address those. But we believe we can get started with 2 drones, withholding 1 police officer vacancy while we wait to see when the revenues can support.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, because I know that's one thing that I have, you might not know this, but he gets bothered behind the scenes about this, because even if it saves one officer's life, the ability to have that and have that deployed in other situations, like you talked about, a fight or not really, or maybe having too many resources report all at once, it's just, there's no dollar. I mean, obviously for budget reasons, there's a dollar value placed on it, but to me, that's like super important. I'm sure it's important to each and every one of us to have something like that up and coming. I think some of your other surrounding cities already have that in place, because I sat next to Council Member Terry at when we met Garrett, and he was all ready to go. He explained their program, how they have it. And I sat there and I said, Garrett, I want what you have. And I said, and Trey, I said, teach our people that, because I want that too. So thank you guys.
Councilmember Weiss.
Thank you so much for the presentation. There's a couple things that stood out. I really do feel like you're moving in the right direction, and I love the fact that you're leveraging technology. The CIT training, I think that's wonderful. Ken and I were binge watching something this weekend while we were waiting at our hotel, and I just have to tell you, there was somebody on the screen. It was another police department in another part of the country, but they encountered somebody with a mental health issue, and I was kind of saddened by the way they were approaching the person. So I love the fact that you're going to work on training for the staff. I went with an officer for a ride along, and she did mention as a to deter crime, that they drive around. And she told me that's their goal. And I happened to be in the Fry's like a month later and called dispatch because there was somebody in the parking lot that was acting suspicious. And as soon as the police drove in, she walked out and went over across the street into Goodyear. So anyway, the drones, do you have the ability to talk through them? So if you brought one over and there was something going on, would you have the ability to do a siren or anything with it?
Not the DFRs, ma'am. And the reason why is because we want to be able to keep them as long as we can up in the air. Okay. And adding a speaker, anything else would weigh them down, and it would reduce the amount of time that they're up in the air. It would drain the battery.
Not a problem. And then the flock cameras, they can pick up maybe somebody that's stolen, like a car that's been stolen or reported stolen?
Great question. For us in Avondale, we don't utilize them that way.
Okay.
In Avondale, we simply utilize them for the purpose of as an investigative tool for our officers or detectives. Okay. We do not use them to chase cars around or anything like that.
Okay. I think that was it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any questions, Councilman Roy? Councilmember Condi? Do you have any questions?
Thank you. I have a few comments. Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the presentation. Great work. You guys are just amazing. I'm always in awe of all the things that you guys do. But one thing I do want to point out, I had not been to tour the communication center since before I got on council. And I had an opportunity to go see it after the improvements and upgrades, and wow, it was amazing in there. Those improvements were so needed. And I really like the separate room so that dispatchers can go to decompress, especially after a difficult call. It was nice to see that room. But Chief, I really want to just commend you and thank you, because when I was there, a lot of things were said about the culture that you've created within, of course, this organization, but specifically for the dispatchers, that they feel like if they need to talk to you, that you're literally right down the hall. So just making yourself accessible for them, I just want to thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Also, it was good to hear, because I was curious about the take-home vehicle program. So by you sharing that it's been a success really makes me happy and know that that was money well spent. And the second thing I really want to thank you is hiring the second forensic interviewer. I know our current forensic interviewer, sometimes I would see her and I just knew the numbers of people that she was interviewing, and that's really got a pull on someone just to have that amount of interviewers. And I did have a question in regards to how do we address mental health calls? So say, for example, if someone calls in and says that someone's showing violent or odd behavior, or if someone's suicidal, how do we direct those? Is there mental health? How do we kind of funnel that?
So we have, again, about a third of our patrol staff that is trained, but the people that are not trained, I think a lot of them understand our culture. We talk about our culture. You treat people with respect, and I think that goes long ways, whether you're dealing with a person that is going through having a rough day, or you're dealing with somebody that has a mental health issue. So, again, 1/3 is trained, but I believe that the rest of them, they just are being human beings, and they're able to communicate with our community. Now, when an officer that is not trained as a CIT officer responds to a call for service, they'll put it over the radio, and somebody that is trained will respond to assist them. So, again, our goal, and we're confident that we're going to be able to host a class this year, that is one of our priorities. That would be huge, because instead of being able to, train 5% of our patrol staff, we would make it probably 100% of our patrol staff. We would make it work one way or another to be able to certify to everybody.
Thank you. And then are we fully staffed for dispatchers?
No, ma'am, we are not. And we're working towards that. That's the idea behind having the full-time recruiter, to increase our pool of candidates, not only for SWAN, but for key positions such as the dispatchers.
What is the length of training for the dispatchers?
It is about, I believe it's 4 to 6 months. I believe I'll have to get back to you. At one point it was 6 months, and I know we were trying to reduce the number of weeks in training, but it's between 4 and 6 months.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Garcia.
Thank you so much for this presentation. I also want to commend everything you guys have done. It's amazing to see in our city, and a lot of the things that I heard. So I know as a former officer, a lot of what I experience is people want to be in a safe community, and that comes with advanced technology that people don't like nowadays. But that is how we keep the community safe. So just like the flock cameras, just like the AI transcript, just like the drones, people might not like them, and I understand their concerns, but I think that mostly they have a misconception and uneducated on the topic, because I know I've asked so many questions I asked about the flock camera probably like 10 times already, but because I read what other people are saying and talking about, and knowing that people don't understand about it, maybe we could just educate the community on what exactly we use it for, because I know I've read in other cities that people are requesting their personal records for the flock camera, and we don't have personal records for the flock camera, and I don't think they understand that we're not keeping that information, and it is used only for investigation. So my request is just educating the community, if we do approve it, to ensure that they feel safe and they know that we're not, I lost my concentration. We're not in their privacy or whatever. We're not following them. We're not taking note of every time they go to Fry's or every time they go to somewhere. And then also with the training for responding to people with disabilities and stuff, I think it's amazing. And I also understand that you don't know who you're speaking to at the moment, and sometimes things happen so fast that you have to respond without knowing if that person is disabled. So I want to just commend all of your officers, regardless if they have the training or not, to know that we still support them and that we know that that is a difficult decision to make, especially if the person becomes violent or the person is just not on their medication or they're under the influence. I know that I've responded to somebody that had diabetes, and I thought they were under the influence of alcohol, and once the paramedics came, because they ended up passing out, we found out that they were low on sugar and not drunk. So these are the things that I know that a lot of people don't understand, but I want you guys to know that I totally support you guys in everything that you guys do. And I definitely want to go do a training with you guys in the new building clearing training. So if you guys ever want to let me in, I do like that training. It's probably one of my favorites. But I just want to thank you guys so much for this presentation and that you guys are supported by us. I support you guys 100%, and anything you need to ensure that this community is safe, I want to support it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Councilmember White.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much. I appreciate the presentation, gentlemen. Thank you for the time that you put in. Can you go to the next slide for me in the presentation? And then one more ahead. Okay. And then I think you have goals for this year. I think we were mostly referring to the goals. This is the priority. So when we take a look at the priorities here, I think it's all innovation. And I think what we lack in people power, because my background is HR, we can get in innovation. And so my HR background is from banking, so I've been under surveillance for at least 20 years of my life, right? People monitoring my goings and comings, me being on camera at work, doing my job, me watching people on camera doing their job with a lot of money. And so I think that as you continue to normalize the fact that there is an element of surveillance that we all have to become comfortable with in society, it just keeps us honest. You know, if I'm not breaking the law, I don't worry about you surveilling me. So I've never worried about people watching my bank transactions or watching me for that matter. Because what I'm doing is probably lawful. And if it's not, I know you will stop me. And so I think that kind of confidence that we have in our law enforcement here in Avondale allows for more innovative space. I just want to challenge you with all of the things that we're going to do to find one additional way to protect each body on our police force. So what additional thing can we do to make sure our officers are less likely to get hit when they're pulling somebody over, less likely to have to engage with an active shooter if they have to confront one? Anything we can do to keep our bodies, our human bodies on AVPD out of harm's way is really my top priority for you. And so all of these things kind of add to that. But then also, as we serve at a national level, and I think about us getting a Safe Streets for All grant, that grant is actually being used by engineering. So you partnering with other departments throughout the city is vital for us to do that. So my commitment to you and to the rest of council is that as we go to National League of Cities and as I continue to have the opportunity to serve, I'm going to try and find additional money to bring back home and to help the federal government see that we are doing right by our residents, our staff, our team here on this dais, and we want to do right by you all as well to get you all as much support, whether that's engineering support, whether that's support with additional technology, additional bodies. And we also, I know that Councilmember Solorio talked about meeting, I guess, one of the founders of Flock. I'm very sensitive to the fact that I think we have also talked to other business owners in law enforcement. And so as they present innovation to us, we want to share that with you. But I'm so confident that you know what Avondale needs. To hear that you went to Scottsdale and they might have learned something from you there, that's really impressive because I know that you take in everything like a sponge. So continue with the innovation, continue to put our sworn and unsworn people first in PD and public safety. And I think that will make it better for all residents in Avondale. And I think we actually have to make a plea to our residents to stop hurting each other. I mean, we actually just have to ask the thing. We have to stop hurting each other. So if the majority of crimes that we are confronted with every day are people-on-people crimes, and we are doing this at home, right? We actually have to find a campaign to say, hey, that's not cool. Let's stop that. Like, that's not a thing. And so being somebody who grew up in a very diverse household, multi-generations living in the same household, I think keeping, multiple generations in the households kind of adds some of that, hey, that's not good. Nana, I wouldn't like to see you do that. But that's not every household here. So let's try and find an innovative way to ask people to just stop and be kind at home. Charity begins at home. So I think that's one of the things that, it doesn't feel like innovation, but being kind at home is huge and innovative, and we take that to the streets as well. So thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for putting your lives on the line each and every day to protect us in what we call home here in Avondale. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Mayor, if I can to add one clarifying, we didn't have it on the list, but I believe this year we increased the reimbursement for additional armor. I believe we added plates that we increased the money they could spend to upgrade their life vest.
That is correct, and that is a huge benefit for us here in Avondale. Historically you get a stipend, and if you wanted to upgrade your vest to a better vest or something that is lighter, it would cost officers money out of their pockets. However, with the new amount that we get, we're able to cover the best vest out there possible. So,
and the funding, Mr. Corbin, where did that come from, sir?
We budgeted that last year.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Nielsen?
No, I just want to thank you all for your vision, your innovation, and your desire to make your guys safe and the city of Avondale safe. The only other thing I want to say on a lighter side is I don't want to be with Councilmember Garcia when you go in that room where the walls are all moving.
I'm trained to do it.
I have a hard time going into Costco and finding my place and one around there. So
I'm good at it because I'm short, so that everyone's above me.
thank you again for all you do. Appreciate it.
First, let me thank you both for the update. I don't want to regurgitate a lot of what's been said up here. Some of the things that I wanted to share have already been shared, so there's no sense in going through that, other than just to just share my gratitude to the fact that you guys are so, I say you guys because Chief, this is your department, but more importantly, your team are just so innovative, whether it's doing the research, identifying opportunities, whether it's working with other agencies, whether it's utilizing technology. I mean, it's here, it's listed before us. And while there might be other places around the country who are adopting some of the software, it's top of mind for yourselves. And so for us as council members and part of this body, it's nice to know that you're working ahead to be able to provide information to us on some of these capabilities and innovative technologies, which is really what I heard in a lot of the programming was the transition to a lot of technology. I read a report, and sure many people in this room also did too, in regards to how AI is replacing individuals at work. And while that may not occur here, I just think it's funny to learn that even report writing is changing as a result. And this is just a comment, not a question, what I'd like to see at some point is kind of what are the prompts that officers will use as part of this report writing to gain the insight of the proper technique. And again, that's not a question, just more of a comment as I think about that. But thank you so much for what you do. I've had many conversations with folks living in Alomar and south of that, who have talked a lot about the river bottom. They appreciate the fact that a lot of what was happening down there has over time dissipated. It's not removed yet, which is what ultimately the goal will be. But even with the grants that allowed for more of our services down there with the UTVs and being able for those capabilities to occur as well, is just being innovative and creative. And I thank you for all of the members of your team for thinking in that way and being responsive and in most cases proactive to the community. So did you have anything to say?
Sir, thank you. And if I can just let you know what our philosophy is at the PD, it's all about our end users. They're the ones that are, meaning our officers, our sergeants, they're out in the community. So one of the things that we do, we're not very tech savvy. I don't want to throw Al under the bus, but that's our reality.
He doesn't mind.
So we expect our staff to bring technologies and ideas to us, and we do so by a program that we implemented a couple years ago. It's the Change Initiative. So any member of the PD at any level, whether sworn or not, they can submit a Change Initiative request. It could be a change of policy. It could be for us to look at a new type of technology, and it comes directly to us so that we can explore that and assign somebody that is more tech savvy than us to look at that technology and put it out to our staff. So thank you.
Well, maybe there'll be a trade-off, right? Some of the young officers are looking toward leadership positions, are learning from those who have more tenure, and those that have more tenure, including yourselves, learn maybe from those who are exposed to newer technologies. So it could be a great trade-off. Nonetheless, thank you so much for the update. We really appreciate it, and thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is adjournment. Summary of current events. Are there any members of council that wish to share any information? Okay. Oh, Councilmember White.
Yes, thank you so much, Mayor. On this past Friday, I had the opportunity to go to a Black History rock show at Arizona State University featuring Avondale's own Show the Flow, which is my son. And so that was really amazing. I got a chance to go see an Avondale artist actually performing at Arizona State University. And then I also had the opportunity to hang out at Trace Rios on Saturday and Sunday. I saw Vice Mayor Nielsen and Councilmember Solorio on Saturday, but just had a really amazing time being out in the community. Stopped by a marketplace on Saturday afternoon at Friendship Park. But I just want to thank Parks and Rec, Corey, Stacy, the entire team. The Trace Rios area is so beautiful. It's so amazing. I don't think we've gone from years where it's cold and rainy and it feels like it's going to snow down there to this past weekend. I was pretty sure that the devil was standing next to me. So it was just that hot. So thank you very much for all that you all do. And thanks to all the staff and folks that were out there this weekend, making it a beautiful place for all of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say that we were all at the shovel today, the kickoff for Donatella Park, and I am so excited that it will be all-inclusive to meet the needs of all of our residents, whatever their abilities. I just love it. Thank you for all you guys do.
Anybody else? Well, I was joined by council last week, and obviously you guys were there, but it was a pleasure to be a part of the new Fry's Marketplace and development that will be happening down there. So exciting. Jen and the team, thank you so much for all that you do to make those things come to fruition, and staff who is also part of the process as well, everything that you guys do. But at the end of the day, residents are just so happy that it's there. And then on Saturday, it was a pleasure to participate in the 25th anniversary of Avondale Little League in their opening ceremonies. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, that John Perrell, the president of Avondale Little League, has done a tremendous job. Shared with me that they went from about 150 to 200 players to over 500. But more impressively, the number of little ones, like maybe 6 and up, 6 to let's say 9, was tremendous, which means that for years to come, Avondale Little League will continue to be successful. And considering just how competitive youth sports are, the fact that they're continuing to grow is really impressive. So, and also, I will share that as part of the ceremony, that one of the former board members of Avondale Little League, who was also a coach, who was also a parent, and who was also an umpire, passed away last year. His name was Chris. And John had a little plaque dedicated to him that he was going to put on the gate. And he said that he was going to leave it there until the city took it down. So I'm hoping that that does not happen and we can find a way to make that work. I know this is not the the intent of the summary, but I just wanted to say that out loud. More conversation, I'm sure, later. But nonetheless, thank you, John, for what you do for Avondale Little League.
I'll go with my tools later. Just kidding, Corey.
With that said, if there's no other events to post, if I can get a motion, got a motion from Councilmember White with a second from Councilmember Garcia. Can we please vote? Adjournment unanimously passes. Everybody have a good night, drive safe, and thank you for what you do for Avondale.